one. Joining me now, he's from the East Coast. He's a big Patriots fan, a big Boston fan. We won't hold that against him here in the Circle City of Indianapolis. Playboy Jimmy Preston joins us. You've seen his video, Fitchburg State University baseball team. Welcome aboard, Jimmy, man. I'm excited to have you on.
Tony, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Let's start with this. Everybody has seen the video where you're hammering a bacon, egg, and cheese, where you hold the cheese there in the parking lot. How did this come about? What was your intentions on the video? And now looking back that you've done it, you've got over 200,000 views on YouTube. It's kind of taken off.
Yeah, the thing was I was going to go in there, and I've been cutting a lot of, promos for wrestling. I train every Tuesdays and Thursday. I'm leaving for after practice on Thursday, letting them know I'm excited about my alumni game. They said to me on the way out, you should really cut a promo on your teammates. And I was like, well, that would be corny unless I do it to be funny.
Yeah.
So I had the plan to do the promo. I really didn't have any material plan besides, and I keep telling people this, my name's the One Man Thrill Ride. There were inappropriate sexual innuendos in there. And I was wearing my Summer League baseball jersey that read the Minuteman.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I can't be the one-man thrill ride and be a Minuteman. So I put the number 60 above it. And that's really the only thing I had planned. I was basically going to just talk smack about the current team. And I really did. I mean, it was a joke, and I was meant to have all in good fun. We wish those guys the best of luck this season. But I knew that we had a bunch of guys coming that were under 30 years old. We had 3 guys that could pitch. And, we had never won, but the alumni had never, ever beaten the current roster. I knew we had a good chance to win, so I talked some smack. And the bacon, egg, and cheese was improv. I didn't plan on eating any sandwich or anything. I was just driving by Dunkin' Donuts, and I said, I got to get myself a bacon, egg, and cheese.
I mean, bacon, egg, and cheeses are delicious.
Yeah. So, my buddy used to always say, that kid I played ball with, Matt Morris, and he's an outfielder for us. He used to always say bacon, egg, and cheese. And that was the Dunkies we used to go to before we get on the road, play ball up in Central Mass. And, so there it started. I was like, you know what? If I just hammer a bagel as I'm doing the promo, and I mention that it's a bacon, egg, and cheese, hold the cheese, it's going to be funny.
Yep.
And I drank a bunch of coffee and was all jacked up.
Well, we got to ask, how'd you do in that game? I mean, you predicted a laser show that nobody's ever seen before, going deep right to the trees. How did the game end up, and how'd you do?
Well, I got to admit, the guys who know me knew that I was a Division III gap power hitter. I had about a handful of college home runs. You know what I mean? I wasn't that type of hitter. I would hit for average. We won the game, first time ever. The alumni did win. We won 8-3. I did pull off the hidden ball trick, but one of the hits was like an infield hit. I definitely didn't put on a laser show. I had a nice 2-strike opposite field line drive the other way, but by no means was it like Reggie Jackson in October or anything like that.
So you're saying you didn't eat a bowl of cereal out of anybody's sunken chest?
No, I did not. And the funny thing is, I don't really eat cereal. It'd be more like hard-boiled eggs and steel-cut oatmeal. But actually, I said that today with the Red Sox going to the World Series. I had an interview on WEEI, and I cut a promo, and I basically said that I was going to go to St. Louis, Missouri, and beat up a fan and eat some steel-cut oatmeal out of his sunken chest cavity. So,
are you planning on going to any World Series games?
I don't think so. I'm so busy with training. I actually have a big match coming up on November 1st. So I'm in the gym twice a day, and additionally, I have a legitimate day job. So, I haven't made it to WWE or anything like that. So it's not just all I do. I'm quite busy. I'll just probably watch it with my buddies, in a living room somewhere.
Is that your ultimate goal, though, the WWE?
Well, I think that's the funniest part of this whole thing is I started doing this originally in high school, but I had to stop because of college baseball. I got back into it afterwards, and I took it really seriously, like trying to make a living out of it for about a year. I had a workout. I did some camps down with some, guys who were, WWE stars. I remember I did a camp with Ted DiBiase. I got very good feedback. I felt like I was going somewhere, and then just nothing was really snowballing. And eventually, I was 24, going to be 25. I was not making any money. I'm living in my parents' house. It's like you got to move on and get a job.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. The last year, I basically, got back into it, and just for fun. And it's just been taken off since I've been doing the promos. I was a good guy, for our fan favorite when I first started. And basically, one night on accident, I had to be a villain because, the main event bad guy didn't show up. And they're like, Jimmy, we need you to take his spot tonight. And it went really well. They were booing me out of the building. I went to the back, and they were like, you're a villain from here on out. So And ever since that's happened, I've been getting a lot of recognition, and it would be an ironic thing if a baseball promo could get me recognition. It get me to my goals and aspirations, because baseball and wrestling have been the two biggest parts of a very big part of my life, both those things. So it would almost be poetic.
Well, we have a friend of the show named Jim Ross that we have on every once in a while. I'm sure you've heard of him.
Of course.
And he's a big Oklahoma football fan, and the connection with that comes from one of the hosts of this show. His son is a big wrestling fan, and then Jim Ross is a huge Oklahoma football fan. Well, Kevin Wilson, the head coach at IU, is from Oklahoma. They used to be neighbors, so we've had him on. Maybe we can send some of your demos over to Jim Ross.
Send him to JR. Tell JR I'd want to come down there and work out right in front of him.
All right, right in front of him. We might be able to set that up.
Get 5 minutes. 5 minutes of your time, and you'll figure out whether or not I'm Titan Sports caliber right away.
All right, we might have to do that.
Whatever. I mean, I'm just trying to do everything I can, obviously. The YouTube subscriptions, the Twitter page, my Facebook fan page are just, exploding right now. So, I mean, I'm doing, national promos. This is, mind-boggling considering where I was at 3 weeks ago. So, hopefully we can keep the momentum going and it's not 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, I mean, you go from, making a promo in the parking lot to the luxury suite at the Foxborough Renaissance. Talk about your New England Patriots. I mean, Tom Brady is killing our fantasy football team here in Indy.
You know what? I want to preface everything I say about Tom Brady with the fact that I'm a grown man, an adult, and I would probably have to say I have a man crush on Tom Brady. He's an inspirational guy, 6th-round draft pick. He's the Ted Williams of my generation from a Boston sports standpoint. But just the level of play this season just hasn't been there. And I would give him the benefit of the doubt because of all the success he's had. But one thing that's really been bothering me is when I'm seeing him overthrow guys by 10 yards out of bounds, and he's got his arms out by his side like it's the receiver's fault, and he's showing up the receiver. And it's really been bothering me and my buddies. And it's just if this is gonna be the end, which I don't think it is, I think he's gonna have a big second half. Display a little bit of leadership. You know what I mean? There's a lot of little kids that watch. So many middle school and high school aspiring quarterbacks that look to him as the premier leader, and when he's showing up as receivers, it's nauseating.
Are you a Rob Gronkowski fan?
I am a Gronkowski fan. I think he's a beast. I wish he'd stay on the field, but I mean, injuries happen. I don't think that. I hear some people calling on sports radio and say the guys aren't tough because they get injured. That's absolute garbage. But hopefully he can stay healthy this year. I think he's gonna be the difference maker if he does. The
one-man thrill ride playboy Jimmy Preston joining us here in Indianapolis, and like I said, the video blew up. You said it was all improv. I think the genius part of that video was when you quoted the outfield there when you got in a little singing song there.
What was that
when you said you were rounding third that you're a blue-eyed handsome man?
Yeah, John Fogerty.
John Fogerty. There you go.
That was the most nuts thing I've ever said in my entire life. I just knew there had to be a little segue between that and what I was going to say about the girlfriend. So that was just totally off the cuff. But I think what hit with the promo, and I said this in one of my last interviews, was I think anybody who's ever played the game of baseball at a decently high level, even though D3 isn't D1, but a division, a pro baseball player, high school baseball player, any level of college can relate to doing T-work and soft toss and front toss and working hard and hustling and all that stuff. So I think I had the baseball terminology in there with the pro wrestling kind of twist to it. And I think that's really why it hit home. Plus, I think everybody in their mid-20s can relate to going back to their old college and playing ball and trying to beat the old team. So I just think it was the right thing at the right time, and I'm glad it hit.
When's your next match?
My next match, I was scheduled to have one in New York, in Whitehall, New York, on the 25th this Friday, but it looks like there's going to be a change of plans. My next match is for the Top Rope Promotions Heavyweight Championship on November 1st in New Bedford, Mass. That's one of the top championships in New England, and I'm wrestling a guy by the name of Nick Steele. Got a lot of experience. He's been doing it for over a decade, so it's a big match for me. I'm under the understanding that a bunch of guys from Boston are taking party buses and coming down to watch me. It's a little soccer center, it's an independent wrestling show, but I think we're going to have a big crowd. It should be wild.
All right, Jimmy Preston, the one-man thrill ride. Before I go, if there's anything you want to say to anybody else out there, just let it loose.
Absolutely. This isn't 15 minutes of fame, and I'm not a flash in the pan. I am the cream of the crop, the cock of the walk, an absolute savage that can't be stopped. I'm the one-man thrill ride, and get used to it. See you, dinks.